Once we have completed our boat, then the next step is to add some cabins to our boat. And we do this from our My Boats screen. You will see this section here where it's encouraging us to add cabins. So we'll go ahead and click Add Cabins now, and then Create New Cabin. That takes you to this screen here. And first of all, we're going to give our cabin a name. So we will call this our standard twin cabin. And then we select the location. So we're going to put this cabin on our lower deck. And then we are asked how many of these cabins we have on board. So we are going to select 8 of this type of cabin, and then 2 people in each cabin. The next 2 questions are about thresholds for agents and then for the public. In Liveaboard Hub, you have the option to only show availability when you have a certain number of cabins. So for example, if you have at least 4 of these cabins, then just show that you have at least 4 cabins. We would recommend always to show the accurate availability. Maybe you have a group that's looking for a specific number of spaces. So for our boat and our cabins, we're going to go ahead and click No Threshold. And we will do the same for the public. So we will always show the accurate availability. And then we're going to create our cabin. That takes us to this screen here, and you will start to become familiar with this. So we are going to work through these tabs one by one for our cabin. It will take us just a few minutes. The majority of information on this general tab is already completed. Optionally, we've got the choice to add a size for our cabin or surface area in either meters or feet. And then we need to add a thumbnail image. So we will just quickly drag on a thumbnail image here. Again, try to make sure this is optimized for the web and certainly no bigger than half a megabyte. Then we move on to our texts. Similar to the boat, we've got 3 fields that we can complete here. We have a teaser text field, we have a summary text field, and then we have a detailed text field. In reality, probably you have less information to say about your cabins than you do for your boat. So for our cabin here, we're simply going to use the teaser text field, and then we've got a short description of our cabin, which will pop in the summary text. And we're going to stop there. Then we need to add at least 1 main photo. Again, if you've got more than 1 photo, they will play on a slideshow. So you certainly need 1 photo. 4 to 6 photos is probably ideal, but it depends on the images that you have for your cabin, of course. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to drag in a couple of images for our cabin. Again, you have the option to add a description for that image, to add a copyright if you would like to do so, and to remove the photo if you no longer want to use this photo or you want to replace it. Once we've added a few images, then we move on to bed configuration. Here we've got primary bed and secondary bed. For primary bed, we have this option here to select the type of beds that we have in this cabin. So you have double, single, twin, twin or double, i.e. singles that can convert into a double, bunk, king or queen. We've got a straightforward twin cabin here, so we're going to go ahead and click twin, 2 singles. Optionally, you can specify the mattress length if you wish, and then you need to select how many of these beds you've got in this cabin. Well, we've got twin cabin and 2 beds, so we're going to select 2 here. If you had a cabin, for example, that had 1 double bed as your primary bed, but also had a bunk that could be used as a secondary bed, then you can use this section here, secondary bed, and you could pick, for example, bunk cabin, and then specify exactly how your cabin is set up. Once we've done our bed configuration, then we move on to the cabin facilities. And again, you scroll through and complete the details that are relevant for your cabin. So first of all, we have if we have a window or not. We'll say on our lower deck cabins, we do not. Do we have a window opening? Well, that's not relevant if we do not have any windows. Some questions about smoking and accessibility. If we have Wi-Fi, so let's say we do, what electrical system we use and what plugs. Whether we have air conditioning, is it individually controlled or centrally controlled? So we will pick centrally controlled. Whether we have a fan, television, music system, minibar, refrigerator, safe, and so on. And you can even select if you have daily housekeeping or not. Once we've completed that tab, we move on to the bathroom facilities, where again we have some simple drop-down options to choose from. So we'll say we do have an ensuite shower, we do have an ensuite toilet, we provide bathroom towels, we provide beach and deck towels, but maybe we don't provide a bathrobe and we don't provide slippers. Finally, you have a section for comments, either internal comments for your staff and users of your liveaboard fleet on Liveaboard Hub, or remarks for your agents, and you can choose whether you wish to use these or not. Once we've done that, then we go ahead and click save, and that's it. We've completed our first cabin. From here, we can either return to our list of boats, we can add or edit the cabins for this particular boat, or we can edit this cabin again if you want to make changes. We'll go ahead and select Add Edit Cabins of this boat. And here you can see we've now got one cabin. It's a standard twin. We have 8 of those cabins. They take 2 people each, and so there is 16 people in each cabin. And again, from here you can edit it or delete that cabin if you want to. We're going to go ahead very quickly and create another new cabin, and we're going to call it our upper deck double. We are going to put this cabin on the upper deck. We're going to say we've just got 2 of these cabins. We're going to have 2 people in each cabin, and again we're going to pick no threshold to always show the correct availability, and we go on and create our cabin. Once again, we can go through exactly the same options as we did for our previous cabin. So we can pop in a thumbnail photo here, we can add some text to describe our cabin, we go ahead and add some simple text for our nicer upper deck cabins. We can add some main photos, so again we'll go and add couple of photos. Select the bed configuration. So in this case, we've got a double cabin, we've got a double bed, and we've only got one of these types of bed in the cabin. Complete the cabin facilities as is relevant. The same with the bathroom facilities. Click save. And then if we go and look at our cabins again, then we can see we have 2 types of cabin. We've got our standard twin cabin, and we've got our upper deck double. And we have 20 packs in total. And that's it. We've completed our cabins for our first boat. From here, if you've got more than one boat, then you can go ahead and repeat the steps for your next boat, or we can return to the fleet dashboard, and next we will begin looking at